We are alive. There we go. Here we are. I'm here with Christopher Carvalho.
Hi, yeah. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So this is little Q&A that we're doing, casual little hangout, and it's been a while since we've done one of these, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're just gonna hang out here and answer any of your questions as well as we can. So ask us anything
Within reason.
within reason about music production, music business, music industry, music. And if we can't answer it, we're sorry. If we can,
try our best.
We'll do our best either
So
way.
let us know how the audio and video is working. If it's working all right. So a few people watching. So yeah.
So drop your questions in the chat, and yeah, we'll do our best to answer them. Okay, we've got a hi there. Hello.
Oh, we've got a few emails coming through.
A few emails.
And if you've joined me from the email, thank you very much. Join me from the Digital Music Masters Facebook group. You can join me from the YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much. So yeah,
smash that.
We just did a podcast about.
We did, yeah. What was it about?
Many things, mostly content marketing.
Content marketing.
Yeah.
So we look forward to sharing that.
Clips of it later. Yeah.
Clips of it with you.
Yeah. So it's the first time Chris and I've done any videos in person for a while. Most of the time it's via Zoom. The wonderful world of Zoom.
It normally is. It's not usual for us to even be the same part of the world these days, is it?
Yeah.
So it's always a pleasure, whether it be remotely or on site.
Yeah, just checking to make sure we get some people coming in the stream.
So yeah, fire away with any of your questions. What else have we got on today? Have we answered all of their questions indefinitely now? Maybe that's what's happened.
There's been none. We have answered them all.
Yeah. But I mean, generally, we've been so good.
Hey, JB, how you doing?
At teaching everyone everything music related that they run out of questions.
If you have any music questions, cool.
Yeah.
If you have any audio questions, video questions, marketing questions,
industry questions,
let us know.
Philosophical questions, maybe not.
Try our best.
We'll try our best. Yeah.
So we've been playing around with a stabilizer. Well, it's not set up at the moment, but this is a Crane M3, which is pretty cool. So it's like a handheld stabilizer you can use for light mirrorless cameras. How many microphones do you currently own? Maybe like 8.
How many's in here?
We've got 3.
The 2 in the box.
I got this one recently, which is the DJI mic, which is pretty cool. This little clip-on one. Don't know if it's focusing. So this has a magnet. I got this like a week ago, actually. You can put it under your shirt, for example, like this. And then you can put it on like that. And then you can... A bit more discreet than the other way around. How many camcorders do you have? I don't have any camcorders because it's not 2004.
Wait, what is a cam? What is that? Do you remember flip cams? They were like the home movie camera.
Oh, okay.
You know that. I don't know.
Yeah, how many cameras if you include a phone? I don't have that many at the moment. I've sold a lot of equipment, but maybe 4 cameras probably. At one point, I had a lot more.
How many are in here? 1,
got 3 in here.
2.
And the phone. If you class a phone.
There's 1 on your computer as well.
I think it's best to have less gear and learn how to use it well, than to have a lot of gear and you not use it. So.
All the gear, no idea, sort of thing.
Yeah, if you have the money, I recommend getting a mirrorless camera with a prime lens. So if you have a prime lens, you can't really zoom in, all right, but it generally looks better. So camcorders are a little bit limited. You can't really get that blurry background of a lot of camcorders. But yeah, it depends on how much you want to spend and all that stuff.
What piece of equipment do you use the most, apart from your computer?
Probably this mic. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So this is the Electro Voice RE20 mic. were talking about this earlier, but I think my voice is a bit higher than Chris's, and this captures a depth. So this makes my voice sound a bit deeper. Chris's voice
This is my microphone.
a bit deeper, so this is a bit more brighter sounding. So I think it matches Chris's voice a bit better.
It makes sense. That's yours, and this is mine.
Yeah. This one does look cooler. They do have a black RE20, which
do they?
Yeah, it looks cool, man. But
I bet that looks really cool.
Is it worth spending another like £500 just on another microphone that sounds the same but
Probably
looks
not.
slightly better? Not really. But for example, here though, with this black background, I prefer this green color. However, if you're using a green screen, you may get some problems. But I think the shade of green is a little bit different. So
I quite like this backdrop though. I like the back.
It's simple, isn't it? Like, you can kind of see because we're next to it, but like you get shadows. If it's a different color, it's easier to hide the shadows. And if you're in post, you can just drop the blacks on the color, and it's easier to hide. So,
what lighting have we got going on in here?
We got these little mini lights.
I really like these.
I don't know if you can see these small ones. These are the I forgot what they're called.
The mini
small
lights.
little portable lights, USB ones. I've got some newer kind of key light. I forgot what those lights are called. Let me have a look on the back. Oh yeah, Lume Cube, broadcast kit, I believe. Lume Cube are pretty cool. Broadkit cast, something like that. So Lume Cubes do those little travel lights you could use for GoPros and stuff. But these lights are cool. They're packed down. They're pretty small. Heidi's got a question. I have an old keyboard. When I connect it, it doesn't record audio, like straight into the computer. If it's a MIDI keyboard, it's not actually going to record audio. It's going to send a MIDI. It's going to send a signal to the computer and record MIDI. If you want to record audio, you will want an audio interface. If you got a MIDI keyboard, it's just going to trigger the MIDI.
It's a regular keyboard, like
electric piano. You will need some kind of audio interface to record that.
It'll be that on it, yeah.
If it's a stereo keyboard, so you got a left and right channel, a lot of synthesizers, maybe electric piano, you want an audio interface with 2 inputs, like the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. If it's just mono, you could just have a 1 input. But I recommend getting a two input audio interface. You got a bit of options. For example, Chris and I talking now, 2 microphones, 2 inputs.
What kind of Heidi? What kind of connectivity does it have? Is it like? Because they'll have an audio out on it, won't it? It'll
probably have an L and an R left and right, and probably a USB out. If it's an old one, maybe MIDI.
Yeah.
But yeah, you probably, unless you're making like just electronic music, you'd probably want to get an audio interface. Depends on your budget, but Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is a good budget one. The preamp's a little bit noisy for some interface, for some mics, but it's fine to start with.
MIDI, yes, with 2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You can get a MIDI to USB converter cable if you want to plug it in by USB.
MIDI ports, huh? Do they still make MIDI stuff that you can link up?
My Focusrite Claret has MIDI on there. So some audio interfaces do have MIDI, but I believe the Focusrite Scarlett doesn't have MIDI, if I recall.
I believe the Focusrite doesn't have.
Or the generation I had.
It's unusual for them to. Cool.
I've noticed one thing. If you post on Facebook about YouTube, it doesn't send it out to anyone.
Yeah. Oh, wow. 0 posts.
So we just did a post on a Facebook group about this YouTube video. And it's weird. Facebook sent it. And over 12,000 members, Facebook sent it to 0 people, 0 post reach. So that's what you get if you're trying to cross-platform. Because platforms don't like you putting the link to the other
platforms, of course. But it's weird. I feel like
the thing is, if you post a live stream in the Facebook group, it always seems to get lost. It's harder. Yeah, it's always better on YouTube. So, right, you guys bought your Logic and Ableton course. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you very much. Could you guys talk a little bit about EQ in general, like general stuff and so on? So,
EQ
depends what you EQ.
Equalization.
Yeah, if you're EQing a lot of software instruments, generally the balance is really good already. You don't really need to do much. But if you're EQing anything with problems, you may have to do stuff. So, for example, when you're speaking the voice, you may get some sibilants. So that's the harsh S sounds. You can find those S sounds in the EQ and just drop that down a little bit. You'll get a de-esser as well. That is basically a multi-band compressor that will just find that region and lower it down. But depends what you
might even if you're EQing a software instrument, you might be EQing it for the sake of another instrument. You might want to like pull down the sort of mid-range, so to make space for the vocals. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, we got a good thing about Facebook. So answering questions live on YouTube and put the link. Okay, let's try that. Thank you very much. I imagine I just put the. Let's see if that works. Are we trying that? Let's see if that works.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to have less people. Everyone gets the question answered.
Yeah. Good day, Thomas and Christopher. Good day. But going back to the EQ thing, because you don't just, when you're EQing one thing, it can be for the sake of another thing, right? You know, it might be to make space for,
Yes.
because this is a general question, so I think we need to like provide like contextual answers, right? So like you might
Kick drum and bass.
you might use EQ, like a correctional EQ, or a corrective EQ or something like that would be like there's a resonant frequency in the sound because it was recorded in a room that was resonating at that frequency. So you would hone in with an EQ. You might do like a classic kind of technique is like you create an EQ spike. So you just turn it up and make it thin, and then you move the frequency until you find that really resonant, and then bring it down. But you might also, for example, if you've got like a really broad spectrum sound in the mix, like could be a synthesizer or a software instrument or something, you might EQ down the frequencies of the vocals on that software instrument to let the vocals breathe through, if that makes sense. That's one use for EQ. You might take out some low end rumble from a vocal recording because someone was digging outside or something like that.
I do that with vocals. I scoop out a lot of the lows. Maybe the same with the highs in case there's any like high pitched hisses or anything. The Great Arcade, good day, Thomas and Chris. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
EQ on your whole mix. I feel like I don't understand that much about frequencies and stuff.
Trial and error, man.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Use the analyze, like maybe like bring up loads of different instruments. Add an EQ analyzer just so that you know at least visually where things belong in the spectrum, in the frequency spectrum. But you know, there's also like listening out for things, trying that thing where you sweep the frequency. I can't remember what you call that, but when you sweep along, part of this is ear training, right? Like it's just learning what frequencies sound like and how to find issues, that sort of thing. I feel like I don't understand that much about frequencies and stuff. Okay, there's loads of resources. Is there a course or something that you could point someone towards for?
Ian and I made mixing and mastering course.
Yeah.
We've got downloadable projects and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. Ian's very good at this stuff as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I would say is just, like I said, make the boosts so you can find the exact problem and dip it. But don't just do it for the sake. I used to do it. You add EQ and compression. So I just EQ and compress and use presets and stuff. But it's, for software synths and stuff, like it always sounds pretty good most of the time.
Yeah.
So,
and then it's at that point it's just a matter of balancing with the faders.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So let's give them a question.
Okay.
Let me know your favorite bit of gear that you currently own, and what gear do you wish you owned? So my favorite bit of gear I own is this RE20. I use it all the time, but I wish I owned the black RE20.
Yeah, right.
What about you, Chris?
The white SM7B.
I don't know if there is one, but that would be pretty cool.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
Heidi's still confused about echo. Do you have a specific question about echo or delay, or is there echo, too much echo in what you're recording, or are you trying to add echo on for an effect? Or
hey Abdul, thanks for joining us. Thanks very much. Hardware. It could be your favorite software as well. Like I personally really like. What was a hard one?
Hey guys.
I do like a lot of Native Instrument stuff. Contact's awesome. Some of the sounds on that are really nice, man. But also, I'd probably say Serum. I use Serum so much. Such a nice synth. What about you? Are you go-to bits of software?
Logic Pro 10. to be honest.
Yeah, it's a very
Um,
good piece of software.
I also like Gmail is pretty much a go-to. Use it quite a lot.
MailChimp.
Chrome.
Chrome is good.
Yeah. Google Chrome. It seems like too much when I add. Okay. So parallel processing
Stick it on
is
send.
stick it on the send or parallel processing. Create a bus with the echo on it at 100%, and then use the fader to mix it in against the dry signal.
You might get wet and dry. You
Yeah.
can always use it in automation.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good
automate
idea.
when you need it. It really depends on what you want to do. It's a creative effect, I'm presuming.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a creative effect or a mix thing as well, you know.
Sure, SM57, good mic, yeah.
Yeah,
Go to mic.
I feel like that's just in everyone. That should be in everyone's cupboard. And a 57 or 58.
I'd say 58 is better for vocals, but 57 because it has the kind of like a shield on it. But the 57, great for instruments. I've got one somewhere. I use it all the time.
I really love the Korg Poly 6 VST. It has some great predefined sounds that suits the genre I work with.
Okay, I've not used that one.
What genre is it, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm guessing
Something electronic?
Soundwave.
Soundwave, synthwave.
Soundwave.
Soundwave.
It's been a long day.
You know that
It's been a
genre
long
of
day.
music, of audio called soundwave. So specific and You know the ones with the sound waves.
We've been filming for 2 hours before this, so
Yeah.
no, not be the sharpest right. Synthwave, yeah. You know what I mean.
Good microphone for sax. God, what would that be? I don't actually know. I feel like it might have to be a dynamic. But don't some people clip on mics to saxes?
U87, but it's expensive. Some people clip on, but that's more for live performance. If you're in a studio, you can have a.
Also, a U87 is also for everything if you can afford it, isn't it?
So yeah, best mic. Oh, a good microphone. Okay, probably Shure SM57. You know,
a 57 or 58 will do it. All right.
Probably say 57. But yeah.
You said 57, guys.
Yeah, well, U87 if you can afford it, they're very expensive. But if you don't want to spend like 57 is like $100. If you don't spend too much, 57 is good.
$100
for the American audience. Approximately £80 over here. So there you go.
Yeah. Bit of forex there, bit of foreign exchange.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, you're welcome, Heidi. I do like a bit of synthwave. I feel like I listen to quite a lot of synthwave playlists on Spotify.
I like it because it's mostly instrumental.
Yeah, same.
I do like instrumental music.
There's loads of good like YouTube mixes.
How good are microphone reflection shields? They're pretty good. I've got one. They're not very good for like a dynamic mic like this because it's kind of positions not very good. It needs to be like like ones that face up. But I've got one of those Kart eyeballs. I don't really like them. They muffle the sound quite a bit.
I'm in two minds about.
I personally
just
hit
and miss.
Get a load of this stuff. Get a load of foam or whatever, or like acoustic
panels.
Acoustic panels is better, but for podcasts and stuff, I use a lot of foam because it's cheaper and lightweight. But acoustic panels, if you want to treat the room properly, but it's all right. Shields, I've used them, but for a dynamic mic, they don't really work.
What's your guys' favorite piece of gear?
Well, you've already said it, but I do like. Oh, actually, a new thing I've got is the Fett Head. So it's a gain booster. It gives you additional 30 dB of gain.
It's good.
So we've both got them on these as well because when some audio interfaces, you crank up the gain, you get a little bit of noise, you get a bit of hiss. So the Fett Head, you get an additional 30 dB, and it's pretty clean. It's nice. So yeah. My new thing is the Fett Head, and it's reasonably priced as well.
What's your my favorite piece of gear? One of my favorite pieces of gear are my speakers.
No, I've got your speaker stands.
Yeah.
You can get them back.
But I've got my Bowers and Wilkins, but that's just almost sentimental.
Is that for mixing or listening to music or everything?
Everything.
Okay.
I used to use them for mastering quite a lot. What are pros and cons of switching my DAW from Logic 10 to Ableton Live?
Ableton Live is more expensive if you get Suite. That's a con.
Yeah.
See, Ableton Live is probably harder to use initially, but once you get your head around it, it's great. You get this obviously the session view and arrangement view. I'd say Logic Pro is a bit more. It's a bit easier to mix on. You can see individual channels, like individual faders and stuff.
Logic's, yeah, they're two different like concepts, aren't they? Like the Ableton concept is Ableton Live is based on loops, isn't it? And am I wrong? It's like loops and sequencing loops
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yes. You do get a live loops view in Logic Pro, which is similar to that, and you also get the session view in Ableton Live, which is obviously session. The main con, I'd say, you have to buy another DAW.
Yeah.
If you've already bought Logic, it's like $200. Ableton Live, I don't know how much off the top of my head, maybe like $500 or something for Ableton Live Suite, something like that. That's the main con. They're both great. I use both of them, but it depends. If you want to do live performance, Ableton Live, 100%. If you want to mix rock music, Logic Pro. If you want to make electronic music, either.
Because Ableton like came from DJ world more
live performance, yeah. If you want to make remixes or mashups, Ableton Live.
Yeah, but if you want to, just record
a
stuff,
podcast, I'll probably do Logic Pro.
Yeah, because Logic Pro is a more linear, traditional concept, isn't it?
Yeah. Like you don't really hear about people mixing heavy metal in Ableton Live.
No.
Mostly use Pro Tools, maybe Logic.
Yeah.
Gary says, I'm thinking get an SC Shield as my room is quite small. Okay. If you don't want to get any sound panels or treat your room, it's a good shortcut. A condenser mic, okay, in the SM58. It probably wouldn't be very good for SM58 because of the position of it, because it's going to be pointing that way and there's no space to put it behind.
I wouldn't have thought the SM58 necessitates it as much as a condenser anyway. No. So it's neither here nor there.
Condenser mic, it could help. Don't expect it to be perfect, but it will sound better than not having it. I got mine really cheap, man. They're quite expensive. They're like £150 or something. But I got mine for 20 quid from a secondhand music shop.
What, Reflection?
Yeah, that's the exact one, the SE Electronic one. So
okay.
Like if it's a bit scratched or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Like I'd look on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, that kind of stuff. You could probably get one much cheaper than you personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, Phil, Ableton is more for electronic stuff. Generally,
yeah, I would agree with that.
The warping on Ableton Live is incredible. It's really, really good. If you want like a general best value for money, probably Logic Pro, but you can do some really cool stuff in Ableton Live.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But if you've already got Logic and you're good at using it, do you necessarily need another DAW? I believe Ableton Live offer a 30-day trial at the moment. So if I was you, download the free trial, give it a go. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, don't. So
would you guys say that recording vocals is a more challenging part of recording music?
So recording drums is.
I've been having a really hard time trying to get my vocals sit tight in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when you're trying to sit vocals in the mix, it's the mix you need to work on. It's easy to believe that the solution is in the problem, but sometimes the solution is outside of the problem. If the vocals are the problem, sometimes the solution is like just pull that guitar track down. You know what I mean? Like if you know what I mean, it kind of depends. Like, because what I'm saying is it's easy to assume, I need to EQ and compress the vocals more to help them sit in the mix. But sometimes you need to do work outside of the problem, outside of the vocals, if that makes sense.
But I'd say recording drums is
yeah. Assuming we're not including that though, because that's obviously
recording drums always an issue.
I'll look around. Great advice. I'm on eBay tonight.
Yeah,
good
like
shout. I'm married to FL Studio. I started with it, and it was Fruity Loops about 20 years ago. Yeah, same.
FL Studio is good as well. I've been using FL Studio quite a lot recently. I'm enjoying it. It's
FL Studio probably has the most intuitive interface.
I really like Step Seeker. Step Seeker is nice. It's so fast.
It doesn't get more intuitive than that, does it?
Yeah.
It's like instantly gettable, isn't it?
My favorite thing about FL Studio is lifetime upgrades. So when you upgrade to a new version, you've got it. So obviously Ableton Live, when 11 came out, you had to pay for the upgrade. Logic Pro, such a long time ago, when 10 came out, you had to pay for the
it's pretty amazing considering FL is probably the most pirated piece of software.
That's ever, they don't want people to do that.
Yeah.
You want to get,
but it's daring. I know it's FL Studio. Yeah, okay, I've already read that one. Yeah, sorry.
Studio One is a very underrated DAW. Very underrated.
PreSonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got a few different price points as well, haven't they, Studio One?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Studio One Prime's free. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's such a competitive market for them to like Apple own Logic, competing with Apple.
Yeah,
difficult. But there's
Very
excellent piece of
difficult.
software.
especially on a value, because if you've got the Mac, it's only 200 quid to get Logic.
Well, that's the thing with Logic, because the
Or
main
140 quid a month.
the main bits of software I use is Logic Pro probably and ScreenFlow, and they're both Mac only. So you get locked in really. You can't really swap to a Windows computer. But it is what it is.
I seem to get tired of my own tracks after arranging them. Any tips on
The Great Arcade says earlier on it felt like it wasn't respected as a DAW in professional studios, but it's more and more now. I mean, FL Studio, yeah, like Martin Garrix, for example, uses FL Studio. The late Avicii used FL Studio. A lot of great producers use FL Studio.
Because it's not a studio door, is it? It's a electronic music production
I
door.
think it's fantastic because it's easy to get started.
No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not even neat. Like, it doesn't need commercial studios to promote it.
I just put a video on YouTube, like basically showing you how to use FL Studio in an hour, and like it's so like easy to get started.
It's the easiest way to produce electronic music. FL Studio, like, it just is. I seem to get tired of my own tracks, cinematic electronic, after arranging them. I mean, take a break. Like, if you're getting tired,
you mean. I get this. I always want to make a new song and use it's the composing that I like. Rather, arranging takes so long. I would say try and collaborate with someone and try and get them to do the stuff you don't like as much. Perhaps, if you like team up with someone else and you can focus on what you're good at, they can focus on what they're good at. Say they're really good at arranging the mix and they can focus more on that. You can focus more on the composing. Obviously, you might be splitting the money down the line or whatever you agree on, but you will get a lot more stuff done. Or you could even hire someone to arrange it for you, or you just got to do it. You realize sometimes you got to do stuff you don't like. You just got to do it. And but I do know what you mean, man. Like, arranging can take so long. Yeah. Gary says, just while you're on live, thank you so much for your Logic courses. Cheers, Gary. Nice one. Really learning a lot as I'm a rock muser, and it was also new to me. That's a great idea to collaborate. Yeah, fresh ears. Yeah, man. Like,
yeah, it's a good shout.
Also collaborating today. Chris and I filmed this 2-hour video before, and I was up at 7 a.m. setting up the equipment. If Chris wasn't here, I would not be doing that. I would be asleep. So Chris, I set up the equipment. Chris came around and got it all prepared. So if someone comes around to work with you, you better make sure it's ready, or they're going to be disappointed in you. So you want to give a professional air.
I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't here.
Yeah. So it forces you to do stuff when you collaborate, is what I mean.
With low key chords in the bass, I feel like I'm always getting this wrong. Yeah, that's difficult. It's difficult to tune two low end instruments.
Sidechain.
Yeah.
Sidechain compression. At least that when the kick drum plays, it might dip it down a bit.
Yeah.
But it depends. Depends.
If there's like some really, really like low end resonant frequencies in the keys, maybe just pull them in a little bit, like that muddy area, and let the bass breathe through that. That might be around 150 hertz or something like that.
EQST or let's call it EQST because it sticks to the music theme. So EQST says, hello, bought your course on Udemy. Thank you, Ableton Live. Thank you so much. Learned a lot. Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. The Great Arcade. Any contemporary bands, artists that inspire your music?
Who inspired, like, that stuff you showed me recently? Who's most influential in that?
I don't know. I listen to so much different.
Yeah, sure.
I go to a lot of nostalgia music. I listen to a lot of music I listened to when I was a teenager because I didn't necessarily understand the music that well. So I kind of enjoy going back to the music I used to listen to and kind of analyzing it.
Yeah.
But who inspires me? Honestly, man, it depends what mood I'm in. I do like a lot of obviously electronic music. I like a lot of Dead Mouse. I like a lot of orchestral music. It really depends what mood I'm in. But I'd like to say no one inspires me. I have my own sound, but that is probably incorrect. And all my musical inspiration comes from years and years of listening to music every day.
Well, yeah. None of us invented music.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, maybe someone did a long time ago.
What are you listening now? I am listening to...
I'm really into Blink-182 at the moment. I'm really into Travis Barker's drumming and Blink-182. Because as I go back to the nostalgia, I used to listen to them as a teenager, some catchy songs. And I listened to Neighborhoods I was listening to today, actually. And the drumming is such a good drummer. I really enjoy a bit of pop punk now and again.
I'm trying to think what I'm listening to
You listened to Chris saw Tool recently.
I saw Tool, at O2 Arena the other day, but I haven't been listening to them either side of it. I've been listening to. I was listening to synth. I was actually listening to synthwave earlier. I've been listening to some rap recently, but I don't often. I normally listen to heavy metal, like 67% of the time.
So EQST, although not much free time, work here. There's never enough hours in the days, man. It's just the older you get, the more less time it seems you have. But even if you get like 2 hours a week just to work on music, if you get like just one evening, you can have a couple of hours. For me, it's very therapeutic just to write some music. But like, yeah.
That's a good question.
There's a lot of stuff to
Gary
do.
there.
Gary says, being a bass player, I'm finding that my bass recordings seem to lose the tightness, clarity as when I play live. Any suggestions? I really like the Sansamp bass pedal. That's cool, man. I used to always use that. I think I sold it to Ian, actually. Ian's got it at the moment. So the Sansamp pedal is
shout out to Ian.
So to Ian Alexander. So it's got 3 different. Well, the one I had 3 different buttons. And it has it's a really nice tone. You can use it without an amplifier.
Do you think that will help Gary with the tightness, clarity?
Oh, I thought you meant the tone.
No.
It's probably because when you're live, you're playing with a drummer, you're getting into the groove. Do you know what I mean? You're feeling it. You got the crowd. But when you're playing to a recording, it's not quite the same headspace, is it? You're not like feeling the groove. So I would say if you can track the drums at the same time, so you and the drummer can play at the same time, you can probably get it tighter.
What are your main instruments? What do you guys play? Well, I don't really play an instrument.
I play the piano, electric keyboard, and a little bit of the bass.
I play a little bit of guitar, which is mostly Metallica riffs that I know, and that I only play those.
Yeah, I like a bit.
But I might add my instrument has always been the studio / the DAW.
Yeah,
because it is an instrument, right?
Well, you hear a lot of generally older people like they think electronic music isn't an instrument, but when you're programming the instruments, you're basically playing everything. You're programming the drums, you're playing the bass, you're playing the chords, you're playing the melody. A lot of time you're writing the lyrics. It can be like all of the instruments, but you don't seem to get the respect of an instrumentalist a lot of the time.
The computer is the instrument.
Yeah, what instrument do you play? Software?
Yeah. What instrument do you play? MacBook Pro? Or whatever's knocking about.
I do like playing a bit of piano though.
Yeah, but you are a pianist though.
Piano improvisation, a little bit of
Thomas George is like, what? Are you grade 8?
Oh no, I didn't really do the grades. I studied a bit of jazz and
I
stuff.
thought you were grade 8 something. Thomas is an incredibly talented.
Don't put too much pressure on me.
Yo-yo
artist, Mario Kart driver. No.
You're not that good at Mario Kart. Like, I mean, you're good enough to be better than me, but that's not.
All right.
That's not a yardstick.
All right.
But I'd
like to see from the chat what instruments did you lot play? Do we have any one instrument I can never play is a saxophone. The guitar, like you got strings. The higher you get, the higher the notes are, and the other string you go up. The piano, those strings you go up is higher. The shorter the string, the higher the note, right?
Yeah.
Saxophone, I have no idea. I can't work it out.
But with saxophone, there's also the mouthpiece.
Oh my gosh, isn't there? So difficult. Yeah. I respect anyone that can play the sax.
I respect anyone who plays a brass instrument, actually.
And also, like, I'm kind of tired from talking a lot of the time. Yeah. And having to, like, blow into the saxophone. Oh, difficult instrument, man. Gary says, yep, give that a go. Is there anything I can do if my production is well created within Logic? I'm hoping to America. I'm a little bit confused. Is there anything I can do if my production was all created with Logic? I don't think there's anything wrong with creating on Logic.
Is there anything I can do? No. If my production was all created with Logic. I think it's because Gary's saying it's not as tight a clarity as when. I mean, maybe you need a live element in there somehow. Maybe when you're live, you're in a room.
You could try. You know what I mean? The drummer has a click, and you play to the drummer.
Yeah, sure.
So you're not playing to a click. Sometimes when you play to a click, it's a little distracting. That's my experience. Any creative ideas to mix improvised jazz leads with rigid electronic form floor? when a result generally cheesy.
I need
I
to
know-
hear this. By
I
the
know
way.
what you
This
mean,
Jazz leads on the 4 to the floor rhythm.
I'd probably say think about some more unusual chords, because if the chords are very rigid, it can sound quite cheesy. So if you know about like chord extensions, inversions, that kind of thing, that can make it sound less cheesy. So I do a lot of software demonstrations for music software, and I try and create them with stock sounds. So one thing I do to stop it sounding like too simple, even though the sounds are really simple, as I extend the chords, I make the chords more complex, which can make it sound more professional and less cheesy, in my opinion. But if you're making dance music, it can sound cheesy. I'd put like dissonance in, like put notes that don't necessarily fit in the key or the chord. It won't sound cheesy if you use that.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe experiment with your harmony. Loves the great code essential sax plugin for Contact. Contact's got some awesome stuff, man.
Is that the one that when you turn it up, the interface gets wet? Like it's
It's very essential.
no, it literally there is one, and I think it's quite funny. Yeah.
Okay,
That's the one. No, yeah, like dude, the dial in the middle is called sex. Like it's you turn it up. It's quite a funny plugin.
Okay.
Gerald used to talk about it.
Yeah, sax is nice, man. I just no idea how to play one, and I don't think I have the patience to learn at my age.
No.
Is deep house still popular? Last time I went to I think techno is more popular than
Deep house
now.
though is probably I don't know. I don't have any data on this, but like I always find myself like I think deep house sticks around. You know what I mean?
I remember a few years ago, went to Ibiza and like all the like quote unquote cool places were techno. When I went to see the trance music was the less kind of cool vibe, the more like cool people. Cool people was more techno, but that was a couple of years ago.
So this one regarding guys that live in Brazil, vocal mics are crazy expensive down here. Do you think I can get good results with SM58? Absolutely.
Yes and no. You're not going to pick up as much clarity as a condenser, so you're not going to pick up on a lot of the highs. But
it's good. But it's good. Like it's sometimes as good as a condenser though. Like it depends what you're recording.
If you have a condenser, you also really have to have a treated room.
Yeah.
If you have an SM58, you can get away with a bad room because it's a dynamic mic and doesn't pick up as much.
Just to clarify, I create a song using stock and third-party plugins. I play keys and use plug-in drums and play my bass. But I see. Yeah, maybe I think that might be an EQ and compression thing. Like maybe it depends on the problem, but it might be that. Is it possible that like the bass is just like too dynamic and it's not sitting like underneath the rest of the instruments? Would that be fair to say? But it just seems to get lost in the mix. Sorry, it's so hard. It's probably EQ and compression. Wouldn't you agree? To tighten it up. I'm new to electronic music, and it blows my mind how something so technical, only learning how to use a DAW as a piece of software and music brackets, which is creative and artistic, are combined. Yep.
So the question is, how can I learn the fundamentals of electronic music, e.g., what is pitch, when to use sends, etc.?
Music theory.
Music theory.
You've got a course on that.
I was going to say,
there you go.
Music theory for producers. I've got a course. If you're interested, I teach you the fundamentals of scales, chords, that kind of thing, harmony. I would say just jump in and start making music. Like it might not sound amazing to start with, but you kind of understand the process. You'll eventually get there.
Get your hands dirty.
You get your hands dirty. Then when you kind of get into it, then you can like look at the manual, look at the courses and stuff.
It's a good course. Oh, there you go.
Cheers.
There's a testimonial right there. Okay.
Well, let's ask a question to the people watching. So,
what is your
guilty pleasure artist?
Yeah, guilty pleasure
artist.
What's yours actually? We want to hear from you what yours are, but I want to hear from Thomas what his is.
It's not really guilty pleasure. I like the Killers.
That's a guilty
Is it
pleasure.
a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure? Okay, the Killers.
I'm making an executive decision on that.
I don't know.
That is a guilty
They're
pleasure.
pretty good. Killers, I guess. Yeah, they got some tunes.
Do you know what mine is?
What's that?
Savage Garden.
Don't
Because
really
they've
know
got
enough of them.
oh dude, they've got some bangers. How would you EQ a bass? I use passive and active basses. How would you EQ a bass? I mean, take out maybe like the very, very low end rumble if it's not needed in the mix, because that can kind of like subtly like harm a mix without you kind of really knowing about it. Take out any mud, maybe if there's like a bit of mud, which there often is, around like 150
I was
hertz.
gonna say use the tone on your bass, try and get the best sound you can before it goes into the DAW.
Sure, that's always true though, isn't it? Sticks. Is that a band or an artist I'm familiar with? Guilty pleasure, Savage Garden. Yeah, Savage Garden, mate.
Why is Savage Garden the guilty pleasure? I don't really know.
Because it's like 90s pop, really poppy.
Okay.
I'd sing one to you, but I don't want you to get a copyright strike.
Hopefully you'll sing it out of tune. Okay. Nuclear? I can't say I know them. U2. I like U2. I don't think that's a guilty pleasure. Joshua Tree is a really good album, man.
Guilty pleasure artist, U2. I think that's what's happening. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
the problem I have. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wait, what's yours? The Killers.
The Killers. Is that guilty pleasure?
I think it is.
Yeah. All right.
Who's my? I've definitely got guilty pleasures. I mean, I have a soft spot for anything 80s. Like, if I get the slightest inkling it's 80s, you know that 80s vibe that I don't know what it is. That, you know what I mean?
Coldplay. Yeah, that's a guilty pleasure.
Okay, that is definitely a guilty. That is categorically a guilty pleasure.
I do quite like Coldplay.
Yeah.
I don't. My excuse is Brian Eno produced some.
Coldplay is the quintessential guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Isn't it? That defines it.
I like that Foo Fighters video where it says, where Dave Grohl looks up and gives a disheartening look because the person's bumper sticker says Coldplay.
I don't know that one.
I think it's called Walk, the song, yeah.
Sunstroke Projects, known for Epic Sax Guy.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that guy on social media, Epic Sax Guy.
How about Tonton Expanding Headband? B-52s.
Oh, what's that big song they had?
I can't remember.
Yeah, they got some kind of like, you know, like the 90s steps or whatever. It's always on those kind of, I think, playlists. Anyway.
I'm trying to think of another one.
Could be wrong. Oh, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could collaborate with any musician or producer, who would you choose? That's to everyone watching as well.
Producer?
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
Dre, okay.
Or Rick Rubin.
Obvious one.
Or
I think I'd want to. Rick Rubin's, I'm sure, is great, but I want to choose someone a little bit more iconic in terms of musicianship, like Jimi Hendrix or someone like that. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was answering producers, but artists.
Love Shack, that's the song. Yeah.
Artists would be. I don't know. There's too many like musicians who I think are like definitely tall, but I'm not sure if I could spend more than 3 days with them.
You'll want to choose. You'll choose Metallica as a band, but no.
Yeah, I'll choose Lars. I think he's got good at this.
Okay, Balls of Canada.
Yeah.
Daniel Lanos and Brian.
Balls of Canada would be incredible. Square Pusher. Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. That actually would be fun as well, wouldn't it?
I'd want to choose someone I could learn from. If you just collaborate with a kind of generic pop star, you may not learn the thing. But if you like Square Pusher, you're going to learn some cool programming stuff from it.
Yeah. Aphex Twin.
So Love of 21 Pilots.
I feel like Aphex Twin wouldn't let one in though, you know.
He wouldn't let you. The tracks just makes them massive so well. Okay. I'm not sure who they're sounding just off top of my head. Not sure. My sound has gone all strange. Is anyone else's sound gone strange? Is this us? Is this you? Not sure. Just checking the audio. Yep. Seem to be working. Okay. Not sure.
Trying to think of another artist or producer that I like to work with. I can't think.
Marilyn Manson, just see what happens.
I actually
Apparently his sessions with Trent Reznor were like wild back in the day.
I actually rate Marilyn Manson quite a lot. I think he's a good
definitely
artist.
Definitely good at personal branding, isn't he?
Yeah. Billie Eilish would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Won't be in the top of the list to collaborate with. Favorite electronic artist? Probably Deadmau5.
Square Push is definitely one of mine.
Square Push is great, yeah.
Who else? Electronic artists. I mean, Boards of Canada, Autica. Anyone who, when I listen to their music, I'm like, I have absolutely no idea how that sound was created. Skrillex would be cool. Skrillex sound design would be.
Okay, Gary, thanks for stopping in the live stream.
Thanks,
Hopefully
Gary.
see you next time.
Boards of Canada, yeah. I'm trying to think. Nathan Fake is good. I don't think I've heard anything from him in ages. I think maybe electronic artist.
Go on thinking.
Deadmau5 would be really cool, obviously. I don't know. Yeah, Autica.
Great. Okay, you said you listened to a lot of synthwave, Christopher. I don't know if you heard of Starfighter by Night Runner. Is an amazing synthwave album.
I'll check it out. I'm not sure. I might have heard of. I actually don't know a lot of the artists that I would listen to in these mixes and playlists that I listen.
Old David Guetta was great.
Yes.
Tycho is nice too.
Be cool to work with Tiesto, wouldn't it? Or Hardwell or someone. Miles Davis. Yeah, I mean,
that'd be pretty cool. Fortunately, not alive anymore, but he would be cool.
Yeah.
Bill Evans, piano player that worked with Miles Davis. Keith Jarrett, he's a piano improviser. He'd be good. Mozart. Beethoven.
Swedish House Mafia, absolutely. That would be great. Bach. What are your guys' favourite VSTs?
VSTs, Serum.
Do you know what I used to really like? I used to like a VST called Albino.
Okay, I know that one.
It's old, but it made really, really good sounds. Some like I used to use Reason. This is a million years ago, but I used to use Reason and I'd just play with the subtractor synthesizer. It was quite simple, but that's how I actually learned a lot of stuff.
Reason a long time. Apparently it's pretty cool now.
I think Reason has always been cool. Like always. I love the rack concept of it. And then you switch over and it's like it was brilliant concept. Michael Jackson would be really cool to work with. So there was a YouTuber who was playing back the stems from the multi-tracks from was it Billie Jean? It was Billie Jean or Beat It. And they sound insane. He was soloing them and going through them and stuff.
Oh, the Van Halen solo on Beat It.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous. It and the tone of that solo is insane, as well as the solo itself. trying to think of another artist, you know. I feel like I can't think of any artist whatsoever, generally.
I know what I mean. That song with the, you know,
The song with the
lula,
with
la,
the
la,
melody
la.
on it,
Yeah.
you know. Digital audio converter or early cards for music production.
Do you mean like an audio interface?
Depends, yeah, depends on your needs.
I like the Focusrite Claret. If you at home at studio, it's got a lot of ports, a lot of ins and outs. It's got 4 nice clean preamps. It's good. The Focusrite software is cool. If you're out and about, I like the Apogee Duet. It hasn't got as much like ins and outs and stuff as the Focusrite Claret, but it's much more lightweight and the preamps are clean.
The ins and outs of audio interfaces. That's what I did there.
H Ball says, I'm new to recording. I'm wondering if there's a real advantage of using IRs, so impulse responses, as opposed to go directly into my mini fuse in Ableton. You mean impulse responses?
I've never done an IR inside Ableton.
I usually run the chain from my guitar into whatever pedals I'm using the track, and then
I see.
the mini fuse, and usually sounds pretty good without IRs. If it sounds pretty good without it, you don't necessarily have to use them.
I'm new to
you can record your own impulse responses, but it's
yeah,
it'd be quite hard.
You also need the because how does it work in impulse response? You got a sweep. It records with the sweep, and then you subtract the sweep using you nullify the sweep afterwards, right? And then you're left with the impulse response of the thing.
Just use the presets.
You
can't do that if you
from the guitar.
That's what you're into. Whatever sounds best, man. Like you don't have to use it just because it's more technical.
What sounds good is good.
Yeah.
As they say.
But like to the party, we're still here, Wayne Wilson. We're still here waiting for you to join the party. Chris has got the party poppers. I got the disco horn. We're ready to roll.
Okay. Any tips for sub bass? To make a good sub bass, all you need is a sine wave. No other stuff.
Wayne Wilson says, how frequent is this? Well, this is probably the first live stream we've done in about 2 years together. So not that frequent.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for joining us.
We
may not be live. You got a 1 in 600.
730 days or something, whatever it is. 365 is. Yeah. It's 15 over the 367. 730.
Yeah, 1 in 730 chance. Well, then you got to divide by the hours of the day and how long we've live streaming. So, not that frequent is the answer to
relatively infrequent.
Yeah. But Chris and I have been doing some filming for a new course we're coming out with about content marketing. So, how to efficient way to make content on social media to help increase your engagement with your fans and followers.
How to make a lot of content without making a lot of content.
Payne says a rude word. Thank you very much. He said, ask us anything. That wasn't a question. That's just more of a
word.
It's a comment. So.
Tea's gone cold.
Tea's gone cold. Spilt tea.
Okay.
Got any more questions?
Any more?
Put them down there, or we're going to head off. We've been recording for a very long time.
It's been one of those days we've had a lot of lights in our eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, man. The video lights, dude.
Yeah.
They're kind of annoying after a while, aren't they? You get used to it, but...
It gives you a headache, doesn't it, sometimes? Yeah. Like days like this, like I'll go to bed, I'm like, you know that feeling in the back of your eyes. Making a track in 16 minutes with LMMS change. Do you know what that is? A video idea.
I guess you've got 16 minutes to make a track from start to finish. I believe Fortet. Was it Fortet did one of them? I think.
Logic. Is there an equivalent to sidechain of effects? I don't know how to do a sidechain in Ableton. What's the way?
No.
Oh, sorry.
He knows how to do it Logic.
Sorry. Yeah.
You could just hit the sidechain button in the compressor, set it up like that. If you're really lazy, you can use the one knob, what's it called, pumper by Waves.
Yeah, if you're doing that.
How not to be a lazy ass and start doing music. you got to enjoy the process, enjoy the struggle, have fun. It may not be for everyone, but if it is for you, you just got to do it. Realize this is what you enjoy doing. If it is, do it.
I think as well, it helps to maybe take outcome out of the process, like remove yourself from outcome a little bit. Like, don't go in, don't go in with the mindset that you need to make the best track you've ever made. Just create.
Oh man, I've got so many unfinished songs. I just make for fun. It's a free DOW coffee.
Yeah, coffee will help the laziness.
Oh right. Maybe. How to make a track from start to finish in 60 minutes is good work. I have done live streams.
You could do it.
I could do it, but
we've done those shows.
Yeah,
but they might have been more. Is it
going to be useful if I do that? I can do that.
Bit of fun.
The only problem with that is I use a lot of third-party stuff, and if you want to follow along at home, you might not have the same stuff as me. I could try and do it in stock, but it's not really going to sound as good generally. Yeah. Cool. Any final questions before we hit the 1 hour mark? Because then we got to go sort some stuff out. Anyway, thanks everyone watching. Christopher Carvalho from unlockyoursound.org.
.gov.uk.
.com, unlockyoursound.com.
Yeah.
When's the next one? We don't know. Chris and I don't live in the same town or a lot of the time the same country. So getting together in person. This is actually a green screen. He's not here. No. Getting together in person is quite a rarity. So we don't know, to be honest.
We might do one online though.
Yeah. We might do a Zoom.
So hang tight. Smash that like button.
Smash the like button. Subscribe.
Absolutely obliterate that like button.
People get a little bit too into saying smash that like button.
Yeah.
So, come on.
Smash that like. And then they do
smash
the whole.
the dislike. No one can see it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't get why.
Seems like there was zero warning.
For tutorials, I think the dislike button is important. Like you need to know if it's a good tutorial or not.
Yeah.
So I kind of like dislike button.
More subjective though, isn't it? Great. Okay, don't forget to check out that Starfighter album. Good shout.
Cheers.
Starfighter, yeah. There's a song you guys use in Logic.
Yeah, it seems like there's a zero warning about the. You mean for the live stream or for the
live stream?
Live stream. Yeah, we
definitely.
There was.
We were gonna organize one, but then we were like, should we just go? We did. Go. So that's why you have to smash the notification bell.
Yeah, the thing is, we're filming all day, and like before we go live, and we're just in the mood to go live. So, but you're here, Wayne. If you got any questions, let us know.
Smash that notification bell icon and join the mailing list.
There you go. Don't forget to check out that stuff. Oh yeah, sorry. There's a song you guys use in your Logic course. I really like the song. We'd like to know the name of the band. Which Logic course? I could presume mix and mastering with Ian and I. The song, oh dear, maybe Robbie Tooth, perhaps. We've got quite a few songs. Is it the one with like all the tracks and the live drums? It's a Robbie Tooth song, I believe. It's gone quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone watching on the replay, thanks for joining us. It's a rock song. Oh,
for the mix and master, yeah.
Maybe it's the Robbie Tooth one, yeah. The title's probably what he sings in the chorus. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, he's a guy that Ian and I know. He's a talented songwriter. Right, 30 seconds. Last question. Who's going to get the last question? Oh, there you go. I see you try yawning.
Lol. Yeah. It's been a long
day.
morning and afternoon.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, these live streams, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an odd thing to do, isn't
enjoy it,
It's
like-
an odd thing
Communicating with people, but it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Crazy.
on the internet.
The Tinterweb. Right, thanks for watching. Smash, like or dislike, whatever you want. Comment. Unlock your sound. Do some music masters. Thomas George.
Thank you, everyone, for coming on.
Thanks. Who gets the last comment? If you get last comment, you get that pride. You had the last comment. There you go. Right, cheers.
Cheers.